This is the reason why the Bible informs us that these 10 virgins took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom. They wanted to take part in the marriage celebration. And since it was dark, the lamps would give the necessary light that they needed, and it would also be a sign to the bridegroom that they were ready to enter in. Now, the reason why these virgins here represent the church is because Jesus is emphasizing the need and the necessity of being ready when he comes. When the Lord comes, there are going to be those of us who are ready, and there are going to be those of us who are not ready. Look at verse number 2 now, and he describes these virgins. He's describing these virgins and thus describing some of us here in the church. He says, and 5 of them were wise, and 5 were foolish. And they that were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them. Right. But they that were wise, notice the difference between the foolish and the wise. The wise didn't prepare themselves for what was about to happen. But the Bible says now, but the wise took, the foolish did not prepare themselves, but the wise took their lamps. The wise took oil in their vessels along with their lamps. The wise made adequate preparation for the bridegroom's coming. Here it helps us to understand that it's not just enough to know that he's coming, but you got to make preparation for his coming. Those who are wise not only hear and believe the fact that he's coming, but they act upon what they know to be true. Jesus used the same analogy in Matthew chapter 7, beginning at verse number 24, when he talked about the wise builder and the foolish builder. The wise builder prepared himself for whatever could come in life because he built his house upon a rock. He wanted to build upon a solid foundation. Therefore, when the storms of life came, he was secure because his foundation was rock solid. But now the foolish man seeks to take the easy way out. He's in a hurry for some reason. He always acts as if he got something better that he could be doing. He always looks for something other than what he ought to be doing, and that's the reason he's always unprepared. The Bible explains to us that this man built his house upon the sand. And when the storms of life came, his house fell, and the Bible says, and great was the fall of it. Even here in our text, we see the difference between the foolish and the wise. The wise not only took the oil that was in their vessels, but they took some oil in another vessel, just in case, just perhaps, just suppose that the bridegroom would delay his coming. Because verse 5 indicates, while the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept. This is why it's always good for us to prepare. We don't know when the bridegroom may be delayed for some reason. In this particular context, sometimes there were dowry negotiations that took a little longer than you had planned. Daddy wanted this much for his daughter, but you only brought this much. And so there's some heavy negotiation that has to take place before the procession could continue. But the thing is here is that as his coming is being delayed, that's not an indication that he's not coming. Even though it's been delayed, he's still coming, and we have to be ready when he comes. The Bible says it was at midnight that a cry was made, behold, the bridegroom cometh, and the command was, go ye out to meet him. Bible says then all of those virgins arose, and they trimmed their lamps. The foolish said unto the wise, give us of your oil, for our lamps are gone out. But the wise answer, saying, not so, lest there be not enough for us and you. I see the only time the Bible gives us permission to be selfish is when it comes to our own soul salvation. I think I remember Paul saying, work out your own soul salvation in fear and trembling. If you don't put yourself in a position to be lost on behalf of somebody else. These virgins said, we don't have enough oil for the both of us. I brought enough oil for me. My lamp has to be burning for me. My light has to be on for me. Go to those who sell it and buy some for yourselves. As they were gone, the bridegroom came, and those that were ready went in with him, verse 10, unto the marriage. And when he shut the door, that was a strong indication that the door would not be opened again. For verse 11 says, afterwards came also the other virgin, saying, Lord, Lord, open to us. Isn't it just like us to not make adequate preparation, but still want favor from the Lord? Isn't it just like us to hear what we must do, refuse to do it, and still want God to work out something that we've caused in our own life? Here they are asking to get in, when they had the same opportunity as the wise did. They had the same privilege to come in like they did, but the fault was they didn't make adequate preparation. And so the Bible informs us that the bridegroom answered from inside the door, saying, I know you not. Therefore the application is, watch therefore, for you know neither the day nor the hour when the Son of Man cometh. Brothers and sisters, this just goes to show us that we can't delay, because it might be today. He's literally saying he doesn't know them. He doesn't even recognize their right to be in his company, because all of those who wanted to be with him should have made adequate preparation to be with him. I know sometimes we think it's harsh of God to cast an individual into a fire that was prepared for the devil and his angels throughout all eternity. But God is not being unfair. As a matter of fact, his justice is just. His righteousness is righteous. His ways are true. And as Isaiah rightly said, his thoughts are not our thoughts. Neither are his ways our ways. He gives all of us ample opportunity to do whatever it is we need to do to prepare for his coming. And if he comes and catches us unprepared, it's not his fault that we're unprepared. He gives us day in and day out to get ready. He gives us time after time. As a matter of fact, Peter explained that in 2 Peter chapter 3 and verse number 9. He said, the Lord is not slack concerning his promise, that some men count slackness, but he's long suffering to usward, not willing that any should perish. What are you saying, Peter? God is giving you more time. He hasn't forgotten the fact that he has to come back. He's giving you more time to change, more time to get it right, more time to get it together, more time to come to your senses, more time to come to yourself, more time to realize that where you are is not where you need to be. And so therefore, if he returns and your lamp is not burning bright, if the Lord returns and there's no oil in your vessel, if the Lord returns and you're not prepared as one who's ready to go into the marriage feast, he's going to say to you, like he said to that one in the parable, I know you not. I don't even recognize your right to come and take part in the celebration, because you should have prepared yourself. I mean, look at what all God did through Jesus, just so that we could prepare ourselves. Look at what the Lord endured on the cross, just so that we could prepare ourselves. Look at all the agony and shame that he had to go through, just so that we could prepare ourselves. There was no other way. There was no other method. There was no other price that could be paid. The blood had to be shed, and so Jesus did what we were unable to do for ourselves. And it's just ungrateful of us to sit back and think that he should do something for us when we're not even willing to do something for ourselves. My friends, don't delay, because it might be today. There are some things we need to get straight tonight, and tonight is the night. There are some things that should have been straight 2 days ago, but tonight is your night. There are some things we got to get right that's not right, and tonight is your night. Do not delay, because it might be today. And if you miss the joys of heaven, if you